Hey guys, if you stay for this entire video, I'm going to show you how to utilize an AI employee to gather information from your EMR system to run what's called regression analysis to see what's working and what isn't. And based off that analysis, whatever revenue goals that you have, you'll get the exact plan on how to reach it, what weekly targets to hit, so you can keep your team accountable and you can ultimately scale, right? So meet Lily. She's one of our AI employees here at Aesthetic Bosses, and she transforms the raw data from your EMR system into actionable insights. How does she do this? Well, she runs advanced regression analysis to identify if something is correlated to, say, growth, right? Is calls correlated with revenue growth? Is there something else? She demystifies everything that's going on in your practice, and she just gives it a clear picture of what's working and what's not, so you can focus in on what's working and cut out on what's not, right? She takes the guesswork out. And just to give you an example, and we're going to run through in a live analysis, right? So to give you an example, we did some analysis on a clinic that we're currently working with in Monument, and their goal is to hit 55 grand a month. And let me zoom in here because I'm sure it's small and hard to see. But based off their data in their EMR system, currently they're at 30.83 calls a week. They just need to increase that to 50, assuming that everything stays the same based off what we saw or what she saw in the EMR system. They'll get there, right? All they need to do is, in terms of appointments set per week, it's 57.75. We just need to increase that to 70 and focus in on high ticket services or high value services like peptides and BHRT, and we will get there, right? Those are the things that we can extrapolate, or I should say she can extrapolate, her being an Aesthetic Bosses AI employee, and really she turns complex data into clear, actionable strategies, you know, the type that the agency that you hired just doesn't give you, right? So what another example here too, and I'm going to call this out, is we found out in the data that every 50 calls, they generate $5,000 in revenue. So to hit $55,000 a month, it's 550 calls, assuming everything stayed the same. Do you think we can keep and hold our team accountable to, say, 550 calls per week if we knew that making 550 calls per week generates us 55 grand a month? Again, assuming everything stays the same, and when I say everything stays the same, it's just the data that we got in your EMR system. That's it, right? Makes things very simple. So here is an example of how we do just that, right? So here's Lily. She's a GPT, and what we're going to do is we're just going to upload an export of the EMR system, and we're going to put in some key dates, right, for the analysis. A baseline period. Essentially, this was just before we took over marketing for this clinic and everything on, right? So we're just going to run this analysis to see what went on, right? So it's doing its thing, it's analyzing. Let me pause this so you guys don't have to wait. Alrighty, so here's what it popped up with. Marketing spend increased by 75%, leads grew by 60%, cost per lead rose, right? Calls jumped by 623%, that's great. Appointments declined by 12.4%. Now, just knowing this, that's just painting the picture of black and white data. Now let's ask her, hey, I take this analysis and give me a write-up on positive growth as it relates to clinic sales and revenue. I want to see if there are positive correlations between things like calling, memberships, etc. Also, give me the percentage of growth. So even though that marketing spend increased and we saw appointments declined, we saw membership growth happen by 68% post-marketing, right? So we saw service revenue increase by 45%, and we saw track revenue increase by 35%, right? So just looking at data black and white, just seeing like, hey, appointments decreased. Well, it might be a leading indicator of, hey, marketing isn't working, but we can't dispute all these growths of, hey, 68% in growth and in membership sales, 45% increase in service revenue, and ultimately 33.5% revenue increase in tracked revenue, right? So even there was a decrease in appointments, we've increased lifetime value and how much they're paying through the weekly sales trainings and all of that stuff, right? So here's the percentage. So membership revenue 68%, service revenue 45%, total revenue track 33%, ROAS 22.5%. So that's really all we're looking at, right? Is there a return? Is there a return on our ad spend? So I'm going to say it like this. This clinic wants to grow to, I'm just going to make it up, $80,000 a month. I need a detailed plan to get there, and I need weekly targets to keep my team accountable. So here's the breakdown, right? It's a revenue gap of 55,000. So here's what it is, right? Current membership revenue, we need to increase that to 3,000. We need 30 new memberships per week. Can we hit that? You bet your ass we can, right? Current service revenue is 48. Weekly target is 12. We need 60 more services per week. I'm willing to bet that most clinics have the capacity to do this by making more calls, by generating more connections, and even pushing it. They just don't know what they need to get to. They don't have the North Star to point to. So if anyone here watching this video thinks this is completely outrageous, I'm currently CMO of a clinic, and we're doing revenue in the 300s per month, right? It's not unforeseeable. And to do, say, 80K a month is not, I believe it's not far off based off what I've worked with most clinics. They have the means to do it. They just don't have the North Star to point to, right? So to achieve this, current weekly calls, 36. We just need to increase that to 120 calls per week. Do I think it's possible? 100%. At our clinic, we hold our front desk staff to 200 per day. Can you do 120 per week if you knew that it can increase revenue to $80,000 a month? Yes, I believe so, right? We are currently at 41 appointments. We just need to increase that to 80, right? So again, this gives you a detailed plan on how to scale your practice by utilizing Lily, one of our AI employees, to run regression analysis based off the data in your EMR system to give you what's working, what isn't, so you can focus in on what's working. And also, based on what's working, she'll give you the exact plan to hit your revenue goals, whatever that might be. Hopefully that helped, and we'll see you on the next one.